Baghdad.H-3 airbase is part of a cluster of former Iraqi Air Force bases in the Al-Anbar Governorate of Iraq. It is a cluster of airfields located in a remote stretch of Iraq's western desert, about 435 kilometers from Baghdad in western Iraq. It is close to the Syrian-Iraqi border and near the highway that connects Jordan with Baghdad.H-3 Main. Is supported by two dispersal airfields, H-3 Southwest 32.74667 degrees North, 39.5997 degrees East, 32.74667 39.5997 and H-3 Northwest 33.07611 degrees North, 39.5978 degrees East, 33.07611 39.59778 and a highway strip 42 kilometers to the west, 32.84861 degrees North, 39.30778 degrees East, 32.84861 39.30778. H-3 Southwest is served by a single 9,700-foot runway and has a parallel taxiway that could be used as an alternate runway. The complex was one of 8 major operating bases of the Iraqi Air Force prior to the 2003 invasion of Iraq by coalition forces. It was later demilitarized by the coalition and today is abandoned. History. H-3 airstrip was established by the Iraq Petroleum Company in 1935 as a landing ground for H-3 pumping station on the Mosul-Haifa oil pipeline. It was never a British Royal Air Force airbase, although during World War II the pumping station and adjacent oil pipeline were patrolled by RAF armored cars. Together with RAF Iraq levies based at H-3 and RAF aircraft would have used the airstrip. Iraqi Air Force. During the 1970s, it was one of several Iraqi airfields upgraded under Project Superbase in response to the experiences from Arab-Israeli wars in 1967 and 1973. Companies from Yugoslavia, previously engaged in building bridges in Iraq, became involved in airfield construction. Due to the specific construction of these airfields, which included taxiways leading right out of hardened aircraft shelters and laid diagonally to the runways, they became known as trapezoids, or Yugos. The protection of each has consisted of 1-meter thick concrete shells, reinforced by 30 centimeters thick steel plates. There was only one entrance and this was covered by sliding doors, made of 50 centimeters thick steel armored plate and concrete. The HAs were usually built in small groups, seldom more than 5, with each group sharing the same water and power supply. Besides having own backup gasoline-powered electrical generator, and each has being equipped with a semi-automatic aircraft refueling system. Iran-Iraq War. During the winter of 1981, Iraqi Air Force kept back its military airplanes in H-3 base to protect them from Iranian Air Force attacks. So the Iranian decided to hit there. On the 4th of April 1981, 8 IFF-4 Phantoms flew to the boldest interdiction strike of the war, penetrating over 1,000 kilometers into Iraq in order to attack all 3 airfields of the H-3 complex. Achieving complete surprise, the Iranians made several passes against Al-Walid, H-3 Northwest and H-3 Southwest UAVs, destroying 3 In-12s, 1 Tu-16, 4 MiG-21s, 5 Su-20, 22s, 8 MiG-23s, and 2 Mirage F-1EQs, as well as damaging 11 others beyond repair, including 2 Tu-16 bombers. 2 Iraqi pilots and 14 personnel were killed, together with 3 Egyptian and an East German officer, while 19 Iraqis, 4 Egyptians, and 2 Jordanians were badly injured. This strike considerably degraded Iraq's capability to retaliate. Operation Desert Storm. In the 1990s, chemical weapons were stored at the H-3 airfield during Operation Desert Storm in 1991, according to declassified U.S. intelligence reports which describe Iraqi efforts to disperse chemical weapons by truck to other locations. The S-shaped bunker located at H-3 airfield and the 4 at the H-3 ammunition storage facility were damaged or destroyed during Desert Storm. Of the 22 S-shaped bunkers located across Iraq, 10 had been destroyed as of the 8th of February 1991. It is not known whether the rest were subsequently destroyed, in response to Iraqi hostile acts against coalition aircraft monitoring the southern no-fly zone. Operation Southern Watch. Coalition aircraft used precision-guided weapons to strike an air defense command and control facility at a military airfield 240 miles west and slightly south of Baghdad, at approximately 2:30 a.m. EDT on 5 September 2002. Aircraft dropped precision-guided bombs on the H-3 airfield. The strikes were carried out by 9 American F-15 Strike Eagles and 3 RAF Tornado GR-4 ground attack aircraft flying from Kuwait. The attack on the Air Defense Command and Control Facility was the first time that a target in western Iraq had been attacked during the patrols of the southern no-fly zone. According to press reports, about 100 U.S. and British aircraft took part in the attack, making it the biggest single operation over the country in 4 years. 2003 Iraq War Seizure. The H-1, H-2 and H-3 airfields in western Iraq were used as operating hubs for Iraqi mobile Scud units deployed to bombard Israel during the 1991 Gulf War, and securing the area was seen to be vital to deny Iraq the opportunity to launch WMD-loaded Scuds into Israel once the invasion began, while also permitting coalition control of road traffic to and from Syria and Jordan. On G-Day +1, the 21st of March 2003, a combined force of a squadron of British Special Air Service and a squadron of Australian Special Air Service regiments seized H-3, assaulting the sites. Informations of heavily armed Land Rovers, the UK Shash driving DPV, the Australians driving the similar six-wheeled vehicles. After neutralising the guard towers and other defensive positions, the Shash SASR teams cleared the hangars and administration buildings of the sites. It has been reported that troops from 45 Commando Royal Marines then set up a security screen around the airfields, which were rapidly set up as forward operating bases for the Shash. With the 2 FOBs established, the Shash then headed eastwards, out into the Iraqi desert. In a repeat of the role in Operation Desert Storm, the Shash were on the prowl for Iraqi Scud missile launchers, which Saddam might again use to attack Israel, as well as any other military assets they could find. The Shash Land Rover columns were reportedly backed by air power provided by the 410th Air Expeditionary Revolutionary Wing, which flew primarily a 10th Thunderbolt IIs and Harrier GR-5s from Shahid Muwaffaq al-Salti Air Base, Jordan, attacking any Iraqi forces that presented themselves. Unmanned Predator B spy planes were flown ahead of the Shash advance in order to scout out targets. A few nights after the initial Shash operation, elements of the 75th Ranger Regiment, U.S. Army, airdropped in and took the H-1 airbase, which was then used as a launching pad for more Allied special operations. One military source at the time described Iraq's western desert as a special forces playground. By the 29th of March, an area some 170 miles east of the Jordanian border was blocked off from Iraqi forces, with the captured air bases serving as forward special operations bases. Current status. Current aerial imagery shows that the operational structures around the airfield and its 3 auxiliary airfields appear to be largely intact, with the runways being operational. The series of taxiways at the airfields remain exposed to the elements. The use of runways is interdicted by a series of obstacles placed at a quasi-regular distance from each other, among these, old unusable airframes.